So it's unique for this site, as George was talking about. We also get subsurface drainage from about the same area as our surface drainage, and that all comes into this little structure here. And if you come over here, you can hear the water flowing through. But in there, we also have pressure sensors and area velocity sensors, so we know how much water is flowing through. And then we can also pull samples from that water into these boxes. It's important for us to get both the flow measurements and take samples, because when we take samples of water, we get concentrations. But concentrations, we have a hard time making sense out of what they mean. If we have flow to go along with those concentrations, we can get some loads, so losses in terms of pounds, total pounds, or pounds per acre. That's easy for us to relate to what farmers put out on their fields in terms of fertilizer and other things. So these would be our IFCO samplers. There's 4 bottles in there, and what happens when they pull the sample, they fill up a portion of the way, and they keep filling until the bottle's full, and then they'll move to the next one. So it's nice because we don't have to be out here to trigger a sample. They're all automatic, and actually our partnership with the MDA, so Scott Madison and Katie Rasmussen from the Department of Ag are essential in this operation. We have communications equipment installed here, so they can dial it up on the computer and see what's going on in terms of runoff, and notify the Stearns County SWCD or the Sauk River Watershed District that we need to come out and pick up samples. So as we were talking about partnerships, it takes a whole bunch of people to make these stations go. That's about what I have. Do you want to talk about some of the sampling things you do out here, Heather?
Sure. There's kind of, it's a two-part system. As you heard, the sampler goes off when we have an event. It depends on how intense the event is. So far today we've gotten just over an inch of rain, but it's been over several hours, so it's not increasing the flow as fast as it might have a few weeks ago when we got like 2.5 inches over, and it was intense. There's times where they've got readings on the flume that were over 1.5 foot of water coming through the channel right here. So that's a decent amount of water. When she told me, I have never worked on one of these projects before, so I was kind of in disbelief till Sarah and I were out here and we watched the level go up. It was pretty intense. But what generally happens then is the samplers will sample. We'll get an email or a call from Scott or Katie saying, yeah, they went to go out there and pull samples. The other part of the program is to come out and get base flow, and that they want every couple weeks. So we were out here yesterday before the event and pulled a sample out of the tile line, because that has continuous flow versus the surface is contingent on rain events. So what we do when we come out, we check the samplers, take down all the information that the sampler has as far as what times it's sampled, whether or not it's detected water, if there's any errors, we record all that for them, as well as the level. There's a staff gauge in the flume, so it's basically like putting a ruler on the side that we watch, and where the water levels, we write that down. We use a tape measure in the tile to measure to a known point, the level there, and then we compare that to the equipment that Tim mentioned that's in there for recording level, and we compare that and make sure that the equipment is still operating the way it should, so that it's triggering when it needs to, and we're getting the data that we need back. Also, a part of what we do is transparency readings, because when you have runoff, there's generally going to be sediment in there, and that affects clarity, and we kind of want an idea how much sediment there is. So this is what they call a T-tube, transparency tube, and we'll use this if it's flowing out of the flume. We'll catch a sample coming out of there when we do grabs, or during a storm, or during our base flow sampling. We'll actually have the sampler itself, we'll set it to grab sample and have it fill water in here. And actually, the first time I did, I was kind of surprised, because as the water was coming through the tube, I noticed something dark go through, and I didn't think nothing of it. Well, after it filled, I looked in there, and there was a leech in the bottom of the T-tube. That was a first. So we went ahead and discarded that one and took a new sample. But I usually fill the T-tube first before I would fill my sample bottles, because if there purges between the line anyway, but just to be on the safe side, I always fill this first before I would do my grab samples. So